Шановні колеги, ми
Dear colleagues, we are starting a series of press briefings with the international observers who came to Ukraine to early parliamentary elections on the 26th of October. We will talk to the election observers of the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. We'll talk to Tamara Olexiy, who is the president of the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, Andriy Futey, UCCA vice president, and Rino Domeniko, UCCA lead observer. Thank you very much. My name is Tamara Olexiy. I am co-head of the UCCA mission. The Ukrainian Congress Committee of America is a non-governmental organization that represents more than 1 million Ukrainian Americans. Next year we will mark our 75th anniversary, and we represent our interests before the American government, and the Ukrainian caucus was created at the initiative of the UCCA. We have a long-standing experience of observation on Ukrainian elections from 1991. This year we have brought 105 international observers. Most of them are American citizens, and most of them are Ukrainian Americans. This year, our observers, monitors, will monitor elections in 7 regions of Ukraine: Kyiv region, Zaporizhzhia, Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv, Mykolaiv, Odessa regions, and also at some foreign polling stations in Washington, New York City, and Dublin. I had a delegation, as well as Andriy Futey, my co-head, and our long-standing observer, Rino Domeniko. Last May, we also had the international mission. 202 members of our community were there, and we took part in the monitoring, and we think that these elections were run according to democratic standards, so we hope that the parliamentary elections will be held also in a democratic way. I'd like also to explain to you, as we are part of the World Congress of Ukrainians, we are cooperating with the World Congress of Ukrainians and other observers, monitors, and I'd like to give the floor to Rino Domeniko, our lead observer.
Something to be desired. I have been observing this election since early September, and have had the opportunity to work with your Central Election Commission and also to observe the media conditions that have existed here in Ukraine for this election. I must say that the Central Election Commission has done a great job of putting this election apparatus together. It's certainly refreshing compared to some of the situations we've had in the past. I also would like to comment that I think the media has been very fair, open, and been able to cover this election in a fair and transparent manner. And that's certainly also very refreshing. And we haven't seen the use of any administrative state structures or resources in order to try to influence the election in any particular way. Certainly we can't say that this election is over because it hasn't really started completely. What we'll be observing on Sunday is more important than anything. But thus far, it's been an encouraging situation to be able to see the way the democratic process has developed here in Ukraine in a fair and transparent manner thus far.
reporting system.
One thing I would like to say about the UCCA election observation mission, we are the only mission that has real-time data that will be flowing in from our observers in the field to our headquarters here in Kyiv. Our observers have a live web-based system where we can actually monitor our polling results, openings, polling stations, and closings throughout the day. So if you really want to get real-time information as to what's happening in this election, you want to contact Tamara and Andriy because they'll have the real thing. And we're the only ones with that kind of a system. Everyone else will have to wait till the end of the day in order to be able to get any results. We'll be able to monitor what the conditions are in terms of the quality of the voting throughout the day, hour by hour, minute by minute.
Я тільки хочу додати
I only would like to add one thing, that 105 observers that we have now, same as in May, they all come at their own expense. Nobody pays us, and nobody compensates our travel expenses. So I thank very much those people who pay out of their pocket in order to be here in Ukraine. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? I have a question. How many observers you plan to send to the east of Ukraine? Because elections in the east are causing the majority of questions. As far as our observers are concerned, most of them are going to east and south. Regrettably, we do not send observers to Donetsk or Luhansk because we were told not to do so, but the most of them go to Zaporizhia, Mykolaiv, Odessa, and Kharkiv.
What is your biggest concern prior to these elections? We witnessed in your report that the presidential elections were very democratic, and you expect the same level of democracy on this election. So what is your biggest concern?
Our biggest concern, my biggest concern, is that we don't have any backsliding. Certainly in May, we did have a very fair, open, and transparent process. I think that's how our report was structured. And we want to see that continue. This is a big step forward for Ukraine because this would be the second election in a row in which we have very high standards. So we're setting very high standards for this country, and we expect them to meet it.
І ще в мене тоді запитання до пані Тамари.
My next question is to Tamara. UCCA coordinates their mission with other observers. How do you do this? Yes, we cooperate with different organizations, not only the World Congress of Ukrainians, but the Committee for Open Democracy, just to cover more of the territory so that our observers do not go to the same regions. Any other questions, colleagues? Thank you so much.
The results, and we wish you and us peaceful and frank and democratic elections. Thank you so much. Колеги, дякую. Наш розклад на завтра з'явиться до кінця дня. Одне знаємо точно, що буде прес-брифінг РНБО о 12:30.
Our schedule for tomorrow will be here at the end of the day. We only know for sure that there will be a Council of National Defense and Security briefing